What's up? What's up? What's up? This is DB talking now. DB talking birds. DB talking Philadelphia Eagles. The DB talking now podcast. Guys, we got some big news. Deshaun Watson, quarterback Deshaun Watson of the Houston Texans, was traded to the Cleveland Browns today. Wow, 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 wow. You know, all of the off field stuff aside, the Cleveland Browns just got a superstar quarterback. They just got a superstar quarterback. They gave him a new contract in the process, and a big contract. He's gonna be making somewhere around 50 mil. Um, here's the thing. I'm at the end of the day, I'm kind of glad that Howie Roseman did not make a deal for Deshaun Watson. And we're going to get into this. We're going to talk about it and how it affects our future moving forward. But let's get to a couple other things first. Obviously, later in the day, not too long ago, about an hour or so ago, the Eagles did re-sign two veterans. Safety Anthony Harris, and then they also re-signed Boston Scott on a 1-year deal. Am I happy about those resignings? I kind of am. I like Anthony Harris. I like safety Anthony Harris. I still think he's got some good play left in him. I just think that he was kind of victim of our lack of pass rush last year. So, but obviously we just added Hassan Reddick, and we're going to be looking to add some more pass rushers to the team. By the time the off season ends and we get ready to start the new season next season. So but Deshaun Watson traded to the Cleveland Browns, and good for the Cleveland Browns. Good for the Cleveland Browns. Is Deshaun Watson going to get a suspension? I don't know. I don't know. AJ Styles, welcome to the chat today, my dude. Baker Mayfield, Philadelphia Eagles. Right. So, because of the fact that Deshaun Watson was traded to the Cleveland Browns, that obviously opens things up for Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield, obviously, a few days ago, penned a thank you letter to Cleveland Browns fans, telling them thank you for everything. I did all I could for the franchise, blah, 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 blah. Do I think that it opens up the doors for the Philadelphia Eagles to trade for Cleveland Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield? I mean, you could go in that direction. You could run with that speculation if you want. I don't think Baker Mayfield's going to come to Philadelphia. I just don't. Reason being is my personal opinion. I think that there's not a big enough difference between what you'll get from Jalen Hurts and Baker Mayfield to make that trade. Where I do see Baker Mayfield going? I see Baker Mayfield possibly going to the Seattle Seahawks, maybe Baker Mayfield going to the Indianapolis Colts, maybe to the Houston Texans. I don't know. But I also think that the Houston Texans are okay with Davis Mills. It is all very interesting. The Seattle Seahawks still need a quarterback. The Cleveland Browns just got theirs, and some of these these quarterback needy teams are kind of dwindling. But the Philadelphia Eagles may still be one of them. Or here's the thing, and this is a beautiful point to bring up. We all talk about the Eagles having 3 first-round draft picks, right? And we talk about it in the sense of, do they keep all 3 or do they trade? Do they trade one? My thing is I think that if the Eagles do not trade one of their 3 first-round draft picks, then it shows a little bit more that their faith in Jalen Hurts. And I want to say that again. If the Eagles do not trade, because they could go either way, and I think I'd be okay either way. I think it's good if they keep all 3, because we can add 3 good players in the draft, or we can trade one and see if kind of as a precautionary measure to possibly trade up for CJ Stroud, next season. But if they don't, it does increase the chances of their faith in Jalen Hurts. That is for sure. AJ Styles says, "Do you think we might get another quarterback?" I don't know, honestly. I mean, I got to be completely fair. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Here's what I think. I think that the status is still, how we would want to upgrade is always looking to upgrade every single position on the team, if he can. If there's an ability to upgrade the quarterback position, how he's going to look for it, how he's going to find it. Do I think it's Baker Mayfield? No, I don't think it's Baker Mayfield. And this idea has been floating around for the past few days, is Matt Ryan to Philadelphia. And obviously that's when the rumors were the Falcons were involved in the Deshaun Watson trade talks. That's no longer the case now, because Deshaun is now a Cleveland Brown. But is that sort of thing is still a possibility? Could we use Matt Ryan for a couple of years? Maybe. I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind Matt Ryan for a couple of years. I think in the passing game, that would be an upgrade. But who knows? Again, if they don't trade one of these first-round draft picks, they're definitely banking on Jalen Hurts to take that next step. Or there is this, and this goes back to your question, AJ. Do I think that we might get another quarterback? Here's what we do know. At the scouting combine, Howie Roseman was all over Malik Willis. He was following him around everywhere. Are the Eagles going to trade up to try and get their hands on Malik Willis? That's an idea worth revisiting, because Malik Willis did some good things at the combine. Malik Willis is a playmaker. Malik Willis is going to be a first-round quarterback. Everybody's been saying it. In fact, I think there are going to be quarterbacks taken in the first round. I think Kenny Pickett's going to be taken in the first round. I think Malik Willis is going to be taken in the first round. So on and so forth. It's just a matter of, is one of those teams going to be the Philadelphia Eagles? My point is this: is I'm okay if the Eagles are patient and build, and we give Jalen Hurts the time. We give him a year, or we give him two, and over the course of that year or two, we've added to the core of decent young players that we have on our team. And then at that point, we go ahead and draft a quarterback, because then we're adding a quarterback to a team that already has players in place. We don't have to add a quarterback and then still go ahead and get the players. So I think it's really interesting as to what they're doing, and I think that they know what they're doing. I think Howie knows what he's doing. He's not over right now. Everybody's kind of freaking out because it's like we've only signed Deshaun Reddick. That's really only outside free agent signing that we've had. And I think people are freaking out about that. But the truth of the matter is that we're going to have like $40 million in cap next year. And you want to play the cap game smartly. You know what I mean? You want to play the cap game smartly. You don't want to go out and you don't want to spend big. Would I have liked the Eagles to add Tyrann Mathieu? Yeah, I would have liked the Eagles to add Tyrann Mathieu. Were there rumors that the Eagles were interested in Marcus Williams? Yeah, there were. They probably were interested in safety Marcus Williams, but it just was a little bit too much out of their range, and that's okay. Here's the thing. Howie Roseman, the GMs throughout the league have more access to the know than us fans do. You know what I mean? So who's going to be a free agent? Who's going to be a free agent next year? What's the contract going to look like? How much of a cap hit is it going to take? At the end of the day, blah, 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 all that stuff. So, I mean, here's what I'll say. I trust, here's what we can say about Howie Roseman. He's great with the numbers. He's great with the numbers. He's great with the trades. If he's going to do, so like I trust him. Toxic Falcons, welcome to the chat today, my man. Happy Friday, my dude. Deshaun Watson traded to the Cleveland Browns. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts, my man? AJ Styles says, is Matt Ryan Philadelphia Eagles? It's worth the thought. I don't think so. I honestly think they're going to roll with Jalen, and if they can get their hands on Malik Willis, then Howie might pull that trigger, but we'll see. Toxic Falcon says, I'm happy about the trade of Deshaun Watson to Cleveland. Yeah, me too. Actually, like I'm not upset that and there's a part of me, dude, like I didn't really want him in Philly. I didn't really want it. There was still that part of me that didn't want him in Philadelphia as the quarterback, and it could have come down to a character issue. The other thing that I think it comes down to is, did you see the fucking contract that the Browns just gave Deshaun Watson? You're going to give that quarterback that much money? That much money guaranteed? He hasn't played in a year. One, there's going to be some rust that he's going to need to knock off. And secondly, there is the 22 civil cases that are still open against him. Is there going to be a suspension? There might be. There's probably going to be a suspension. Everybody's saying it. Tox Falcon says, Matt Ryan's not leaving. All right, cool. In my opinion, as a sports fan in general, and just the things that Matt Ryan has done for the Atlanta Falcons, he should retire a fucking Atlanta Falcon. Let's be honest. Chris, what's up, my dude? Happy Friday. Chris R says, my man, what's up? What's up, Chris? What's good? Deshaun Watson traded to the Cleveland Browns. Oh, man. And does that open things up for Baker? Yes, it does. It definitely opens things up for Baker. Baker knew he wasn't going to come back, but and maybe Baker even knew that the trade was going to go through a few days ago when he penned his thank you letter to Cleveland Browns fans. Baker, and so now obviously Eagles fans are going to go fucking nuts, right? They're going to be like, oh, should we trade for Baker? No, we shouldn't trade for Baker. I don't want Baker. There's not much of a difference in play between Baker and Jalen Hurts. And if anything, Jalen Hurts doesn't turn the ball over as much as Baker does. So there's that. But here's what I will say. This does turn the attention back to Howie Roseman being, interested in Malik Willis at the scouting combine to a really uncomfortable amount, if I'm being honest. Toxic Falcon said they still did him dirty. That's what she said. Wait, Matt Ryan or Baker? Cleveland Browns definitely did Baker dirty. That's for sure. Chris R says, I'm good. Are the Browns still refusing the Baker trade? They could probably get a first rounder for him. They're probably not going to refuse a Baker trade at this point. In fact, here's my thing on that. When that report came out, I was a little bit surprised because the report was they informed Baker that they were listening to trade offers for a superstar quarterback at the combine. And then they came out and said that they had no interest in trading Baker. That makes no sense. That's like saying, like, I'm going to steal your dinner and I'm not going to repay you for it. That's basically what that kind of, not necessarily, but kind of like that. Tox Falcon says, Matt, did they do Matt dirty? I don't even know if they did Matt. I don't even know if they did Matt dirty. Look, here's the thing. Nobody did their quarterback dirty like the Cleveland Browns did. Nobody did their quarterback dirty like the Cleveland Browns did. I think Matt Ryan has been in this league long enough to understand, look, it's a business. Deshaun Watson is a 26-year-old quarterback, right? He's a 26-year-old quarterback. phenomenally talented. I mean, off the field shit aside, he is a talented quarterback. And so, was it worth investigating for the Falcons? Yeah, it's worth investigating for the Falcons. Matt Ryan probably knows that. Matt Ryan knows that. You got to, I mean, don't, he's probably not going to hold it. He's probably not going to hold it against the Falcons. And the Falcons didn't end up making the move. You know what I mean? So, and I don't think I've talked with you guys since Fletcher Cox got released from the Philadelphia Eagles, but the Eagles are reportedly going to re-sign him to a lesser deal, a 1-year, $14 million deal is what I heard, which I think is also a good move, honestly. So I was a little shocked. It was a little I mean, I guess the release wasn't as shocking as the release itself wasn't shocking. But like it was too good. It was I didn't believe that they weren't going to try and re-sign him. That's the truth. So, Juju Smith-Schuster signed with the Kansas City Chiefs. What the fuck? Do we need the Chiefs to get any more talented on offense? Honestly. Tox Falcon says thoughts. You didn't need Cox. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. If we release Fletcher Cox, then that clearly creates a need, right? Obviously we have Javon Hargrave and we have Milton Williams. Hassan Ridgeway just signed with somebody, so it's like, if we didn't bring Fletcher Cox back, then that automatically insinuates that the Philadelphia Eagles are going to take a defensive tackle at either 15 or 16, or with one of their first round picks. Like I'm not, but so now that they're able to bring Fletcher Cox back, they don't need to draft the DT early. They're going to. It's going to be Devontae Wyatt if he's there. I really believe that. I think that they love Devontae Wyatt. I think that's why he's coming in for a pre-draft visit. I also might be a little bit biased because I love Devontae Wyatt. I've said it all along. He's my favorite out of the defensive tackles out of Georgia, and I'll continue to say it. But they brought Fletcher Cox back, and they draft Devontae Wyatt. It's over. But I'm excited about Milton Williams too. Chris R says, yeah, I was thinking about a trade scenario for Keenan Allen. Okay. If we don't have Cox, you got to get Wyatt or Davis. I want Wyatt, honestly. Here's why. Look. I know that Jordan Davis had a phenomenal combine. The thing is I still, like, on tape, he had a phenomenal combine, but on tape, he is a one-trick pony, and it is a phenomenal trick. He's immovable. He's gonna constantly command double teams, but Devontae Wyatt is, much more athletic and much more aggressive, and is gonna get to the quarterback. And so, replacing, bringing in a guy like that is in my opinion is better. So, plus we don't necessarily run a 3-4. We run it sometimes, but Devontae Wyatt, or not Devontae Wyatt, but Jordan Davis is going to be better for a 3-4. Chris R says, if Matt Ryan goes to the Raiders, he could be legit, but I think the cap hit is too massive for the Falcons. Why would Matt Ryan go to the Raiders when they have Derek Carr? In fact, Matt Ryan's been in the league longer, but I think they're very similar, and Derek Carr is younger. They're not going to trade. They're not going to trade. I mean, they're not going to take Matt Ryan. The reason why Devontae Adams was I mean, the reason why Devontae Adams was traded to the Raiders and why he was so excited to be traded to the Raiders was because he's reuniting with Derek Carr. Toxic Falcon says, "Are you all on drugs?" Chris was thinking, I was thinking if Ryan got butthurt the way Baker did and demanded a trade. Yeah, no, nobody's going to get butthurt the way that Baker does. So, no, I think Matt Ryan's cool. I that's my thing. I think Matt Ryan's cool. I don't think he's taking it personally. I think that I honestly think that he sees his franchise trying to, explore options. And honestly, at the end of the day, I think it was the best thing for the Falcons not to pursue Deshaun Watson. Falcons need to get better. Falcons are, again, and I said this last offseason too, the Falcons are in the same position the Philadelphia Eagles are in. They have to get better on both sides of the ball. And so for them to keep their options in the draft is, essential. Toxic Falcon says we aren't trading him now. Yeah. Agreed. How do you guys feel about Chris? How do you feel about Anthony Harris getting re-signed? That's my thing too. Is Anthony Harris gets re-signed? Rodney McLeod has not been re-signed. What are they looking to do at safety? Are they going to draft a guy, or do you think they're going to add somebody? I'm pretty sure. Did Marcus May get signed? I don't know. I don't know that for sure. I think he did, actually. Wait, hold on a second. Something just came through as we're streaming. Something just came through as we're streaming. A playmaking defender leaving Philly. Wait, what? The fuck is going on here? Tox Falcon says Baker isn't a guy who can take a team to a Super Bowl. Here's my thing on people saying shit like that is, and one love, like, Tox Falcons. Love it, brother. Never say never. Never say never. So my thing is this is I don't think I would rather stick with Jalen Hurts right now than go with Baker. That's a fact. That's a fact. Chris R says, I'm indifferent about it, but I figured it was confirming that we don't get Honey Badger. May went to the Saints. Okay, so that's what I thought. Marcus May was signed and went to the Saints. And by the way, linebacker Alex Singleton signed with the Denver Broncos. Me personally, I liked Alex Singleton. I thought as a third linebacker, like he was good. As a guy who stepped in, when injuries occurred, he was a decent guy. He was a decent linebacker. They did let him walk. And so does that mean that the Eagles are going to actually address the linebacker position early in this year's draft? I don't know. But we will have to see. I mean, Me personally, I think they're obviously gonna adjust the defensive line, and they could keep all 3 picks, and they could go defensive line, linebacker, and wide receiver. I think that they're going to go wide receiver early in the first round, or they could trade up, Honestly, it wouldn't put. I wouldn't put it past Howie Roseman. I wouldn't put it past Howie Roseman to go after Malik Willis. He was literally falling in love with Malik Willis at the scouting combine before our very eyes, and at the Senior Bowl. So, Chris R says, I like Singleton too. He's just not special. All those tackles, no forced fumbles, and probably would have 30 more if he didn't miss so many. True. But here's what I will say. He was probably our best blitzing linebacker. Because when they brought him on blitzes, he would get to the quarterback. Last 2 years he's averaged 120 tackles. Last 2 years he's at least gotten 2 to 4 sacks on the quarterback. That's decent for a middle linebacker. It is, especially in our defense. Yeah, as far as that alert that just came through, I can't find where it went, but I think that they were talking about Alex Singleton. But why they listed him as a playmaker in that article, I don't know. And that news was old. Watch it be Darius Slay. Chris R says, I would have liked to keep him for depth. I think a leader like Lloyd, Wagner, and Dean could have helped him get better. I think bringing in Wagner definitely would have helped him get better. And there's still a possibility, the Eagles could still add Bobby Wagner. I mean, for veteran leadership, they certainly could do that. They might look. We are still technically in the first week of free agency, right? And that second week is when discounts start to occur. I was talking to Patrick J about this yesterday, is that if the Eagles can, if the Honey Badger stays in free agency into the second week of free agency, the Eagles are going to get a discount on the Honey Badger if they're interested. So, guys, I mean, we better hope that the Honey Badger is going to last into the second week of free agency if we want him. Dox Falcon says, could you see Cox in a Dallas uniform? Could I see Cox in a Dallas uniform? Fletcher Cox? Fletcher Cox isn't leaving Philly. He got released, but he's getting re-signed on a cheaper deal. Chris R says the Eagles get too cute sometimes. TJ Edwards is our best linebacker. He's undrafted. Now Howie probably thinks he doesn't need to aim for a guy like Lloyd or Dean. I don't know about that. Because, I mean, he did say at the end of the season, our philosophy towards linebackers has changed. So maybe they're gonna add a linebacker early. You know what I mean? Maybe they're gonna add a linebacker early. And honestly, I wouldn't be sorry. There's a bug in my room. I wouldn't be upset. I wouldn't be upset if it's not Lloyd or Dean. I wouldn't be upset if they don't take a first round linebacker. But they'll need to take one in the second round because Chad Moma will still be there. Christian Harris, there's a possibility he'll still be there, even though my personal opinion is that his performance at the combine elevated him into the first round. But here's the thing is linebacker, your third ranked linebackers in draft classes usually go into the second round. No matter how great their showing is at any point in the pre-draft process. So, we'll just have to see what happens. I actually really like Christian Harris out of Alabama and like him more than I like Nakobe Dean. That might be not the most agreeable comment, but I like him more than Nakobe Dean, and that's that. Talkin Watkins says Fletcher Cox. Yeah, Fletcher is going back to the Philadelphia Eagles. Fletcher is gonna re-sign with the Philadelphia Eagles. He's just gonna re-sign on a cheaper deal. Chris R says we have to get Harris, Muma, or Chanel if we don't get Lloyd or Dean. Here's my thing about Leo Chanel is 6'2", 265. Seems more like a strong side pass rusher to me, which is what the Philadelphia Eagles are going to start to employ in their defense. So if they're gonna put Hassan Reddick down on some defensive fronts, then that's when you bring Chad Moma on the same side as Hassan Reddick. Oh my God, it would be fucking fierce. That's one of the things that's the one thing that I would love is if Leo Chanel was on this defense. I would love Leo Chanel on this defense. I think he's going to be a phenomenal pass rusher. In our defense, he could either be that. I don't think that we would list him as a stand up linebacker. That's my thing. The only thing is if we did list him as a stand up linebacker, it would be in the way that I just mentioned. Toxic Falcons says, so were the Eagles going to give up a first rounder for Ridley? I don't know what the Eagles were going to give up for Ridley. I still wonder. I don't think so. It may have been. That's a great question, Toxic Falcons, because I think it could have been a first rounder. But I think that would have been too close. I think that would have been too close to the Falcons' asking price for it to be a first rounder. So I think if it were a first rounder, the Falcons would have asked for 19, or the Falcons would have, the Falcons would have asked for 19, pick 19, and obviously in negotiations. You never give up. You never give up the asking price, the initial asking price. You always negotiate. Hy Roseman is phenomenal at negotiating, and I think it could have been like a second and a fourth, maybe a second and a player. I don't know, really don't. But I don't think it was a first rounder. Chris R says, yeah, and I'm a little worried about how they'll use Hassan Reddick. I'm not worried. I'm curious. I'm intrigued. I think that here's the thing is I think Jonathan Gannon is gonna see how Hassan Reddick has been used over the last couple of years and understand that this is going to be the best way to use him, right? So I think we're going to use him correctly. I'm not as worried. I just hope we do the right thing. So Chris R says, Toxic Falcons, I heard it was a third for Ridley. That would make sense too. Toxic Falcon says Ridley shouldn't be suspended for the whole season. I have mixed feelings on this. Honestly, it's It is difficult because like it's obviously something that every player knows. And but the thing is that once the NFL started doing business with the casinos, like, I mean, come on. And now we have applications on our phones to be able to access this shit easily. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. 12 games. 12 games, not 17. Docs Falcon says, I'll be honest, Hassan Reddick isn't going to dominate. He looked good because of Brian Burns. Well, it wasn't just Brian Burns. He also played well in his last season with the Cardinals too, because they finally found a use for him. And yeah, there was that one game where he had like 3 or 4 or 5 sacks or something like that for the Cardinals before the season ended. Look, I'm not gonna say that you're wrong, Tox Falcons. That is definitely something that I'm worried about. But we have Javon Hargrave, we have Fletcher Cox. You know, Josh Sweat is a good player. I think Hassan Reddick is gonna be just fine in Philadelphia. I think he's going to be just fine in Philadelphia. I really do. I really, really do. Do the Eagles need to, and then that includes whoever the Eagles are going to add. Remember, that includes whoever the Philadelphia Eagles are going to add. So, like the Eagles might add Jordan Davis. The Eagles might add Devontae Wyatt, right? So, like, if you add either one of those guys, that's just going to free up Josh Sweat even more. It's going to free up Hassan Reddick even more. Hassan Reddick's a good player. He was always a good player. The Cardinals just didn't use him right in the first 4 seasons of his fucking NFL career. Because the Cardinals never know what the fuck they're doing. Chris R says, do you watch Gate City Sports? He did a video today claiming we only have $7 million in cap space. I do sometimes, yeah. I mean, I've been working all day, but Gate City Sports is right. I mean, he's not wrong. He's right. So, but here's the thing: is the cap space is fluid, man. I mean, like it's always changing. It's never right. You know, only honestly, truly, the people who know what the cap number is the GM, and you know, and those guys. So it's like the cap number is always changing. The cap number is always changing. And Harry Roseman told the fans 2 years ago, whatever it was, is like, I don't ever want fans to worry about the cap space. Don't worry about the cap space, no matter what it is. You know, we'll find a way. So, like, I'm not, you know, if it is $7 million in cap space, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You know, I'm sure Gate City Sports also talked about the fact that it's $7 million in cap space, and you know, it's gonna be $13 million. It's gonna be $13 million for the rookie class coming in for our draft picks, and we have 3 first-round draft picks. It's fluid. It's not gonna affect us. It's not gonna affect us. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Doc Falcon says it's the same thing with Dante Fowler and Aaron Donald. Well, Dante Fowler wasn't bad with the Jaguars. And yeah, did he get a boost from going to the Rams and playing with Aaron Donald? Yeah, of course he did. Everybody on that fucking defensive line is going to get a boost from playing with Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald is a phenomenal player. I mean, come on. What are we talking about? Toxic Falcon says Cowboys thinking they have Dante Fowler is going to help them. Well, Cowboys fans are delusional. You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to say about Cowboys fans, honestly. Actually, I do. I just, Tox Falcon says, no, say failure. You want me to say Dante failure? Okay. No, I'm not going to say Dante failure because I think that did he ever live up to his draft hype? No. No, he did not. Is he a serviceable player? Yes, he is. But he's never lived up to his draft hype. So I'm not going to say he's a failure. I honestly think that if Dante Fowler came to the Philadelphia Eagles, I think we could probably use his services. So I'm not gonna say that he's a complete failure. But we'll see. Chris R said, I hope we get Jermaine Johnson, but I think Ajabo's injury today cost us any chance of getting him. Phenomenal point. And yeah, I was going to bring that up, and I completely almost forgot about it. Yeah, David Ajabo obviously injured today at his pro day, and that sucks for David Ajabo. My heart goes out to him. Obviously, he was, presumed to be a first-round draft pick, and I don't think he's going to be now. Honestly, I don't think he's going to be a first-round draft pick now. I will be honest about my thoughts on David Ajabo, however. I have said all along that a one-year wonder is not what I want in the first round. I get the upside. I understand it. Don't jump on me quite yet. I get the upside with David Ajabo, but there are a few things. He broke out last year. He was playing opposite Aiden Hutchinson, 6'4", 255, somewhere along those lines. And I think that the Eagles may have been targeting him. I don't know, but if they were, my personal opinion, I think it's a blessing in disguise. I think it's a blessing in disguise because I'll say why. I don't think he's going to be a bust. I just don't think he's going to live up to the draft type. I think he's another one of those guys. I think he's another one. I think he's another Dante Fowler. I would rather take Trayvon Walker than David Ajabo. I would rather take Jermaine Johnson than David Ajabo. And Jermaine Johnson's probably going to be there at 15. So there's a few guys I would rather take than David Ajabo. Devontae Wyatt is one of them. Let's assume that the Philadelphia Eagles trade one of their first-round draft picks, and so they only have two. Let's say Devontae Wyatt is still on the board, and the Eagles are going to take a wide receiver in the first round. I would rather have them take Devontae Wyatt and whatever wide receiver that they're going to take than David Ajabo. 3 people just left the chat. 3 people just left the chat after I said no to David Ajabo. Guys, you guys have been building this guy up in your head way too much off of a one breakout season. Talkin Falcon says, I think we will get him, Chris R., since we got Casey Hayward. Okay. 3 people just left the chat based off of what I said about David Ajabo. Really? All right. Hey, if the Eagles can get David Ojabo in the third round because of his injury, I'm all for it. If they want to take him in the second round, I'm fine. I don't mind taking another injured player. I don't mind taking another injured player in the second round. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. We did that with Landon Dickerson. We did that with Sidney Jones. Unfortunately, Sidney Jones didn't pan out for the Philadelphia Eagles. But none of the cornerbacks played well under Jim Schwartz. And also, but we know Landon Dickerson obviously did last year. So, if he lasts the second round, I'm cool. But here's the thing. Let's talk about this first. Let's talk about this for a second because it's a phenomenal talking point, which is this. The Philadelphia Eagles, over the last 5 years, have taken guys who were going to be first rounders, but because they were injured, they were able to get them in the second round. And I'm saying Sidney Jones, Landon Dickerson. Could there be one more? And there's a couple guys that we can talk about, right? Howie Roseman definitely wants to upgrade the wide receiver position. We know that. Right? If Jameson Williams falls to 51 for the Philadelphia Eagles, would you take him? And the other thing that I want to ask too, and the reason why I'm going to say third round for this guy is because I don't think he's a first round prospect. He's not. He's a second round prospect, but he got injured. Obviously, another is Alabama wide receiver John Mechie, who is phenomenal. He's a great player. Played with Devontae Smith. Played with Jalen Hurts. Did he play with Jalen Hurts? I actually don't know that for sure, but he played with Devontae Smith. John Mechie, the third. If he lasts to the third round for the Philadelphia Eagles, should the Eagles take him, even though he's injured? Let me get your thoughts. Chris R. says, yeah, Ojabo is last on my list of edges, but I think Jordan Davis is bust-proof because if he can't get to the quarterback, we can change him to an offensive tackle. That's not happening. But I love the creativity. Look, don't put it past Philadelphia Eagles to draft an offensive tackle in the first round. Never. Don't. Guys, I know I know we would hate that. Trust me. I know how much we need to improve the defense. Do not put it past the Philadelphia Eagles to draft an offensive lineman in the first round. Like, I'm not even fucking kidding. The only reason why I bring this up is because it's the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay? Talks Falcon says Eagles fans, man. What are you talking about? Chris R says, hell yeah. Hell yeah to what? Jameson Williams at 51? Jameson Williams is 6'2". He's a track star. You don't think he's going to recover from an ACL? He's going to recover from an ACL. Young guys like that recover from ACLs. I had a slight tear to my ACL last year, and I recovered. I'm good. I'm going to the gym. I'm doing my due. I'm getting on that elliptical. You know what I mean? I'm getting on that Stairmaster. I'm doing my squats. You know what I'm saying? Chris R says, yeah, I love Mechie. I think here's the thing. Howie Roseman, they talked to like 15 wide receivers at the combine. They're definitely going to get a wide receiver early in this draft. It's definitely going to happen. And those chances even increased because they didn't get Allen Robinson. Mike Williams was re-signed. They didn't get DJ Chark. They didn't trade for DJ Moore. DJ Moore is going to get a new contract for the Panthers if that report hasn't actually been official yet. But there was a report that that's the case. What else happened? Christian Kirk got signed by the fucking Jacksonville Jaguars. Way too much money. You know who is still available? Sammy Watkins. Sammy Watkins is still available. Honestly, the Philadelphia Eagles should fucking make a play for Sammy Watkins. You want to be completely honest? The Eagles should make a play for Sammy Watkins. I don't care if he's here's the thing. Sammy Watkins goes to any other team, he's a third guy. But like him and Amari Cooper came from the same fucking draft class. Him and Amari Cooper were the two top wide receivers of said draft class. Sammy Watkins had a phenomenal beginning of his career with the Bills. Amari Cooper had a phenomenal beginning of his career with the Raiders. And then continued it a little bit with Dallas. And then once Sammy Watkins went to the Kansas City Chiefs, like he had Patrick Mahomes and had some decent success as a third wide receiver, he would come into Philadelphia and he would be the second guy immediately. And they would be able to do different things. Because Sammy Watkins can do different things. Devontae Smith can do different things. You know, Quez Watkins can do different things. They just got to get another wide receiver who can actually fucking catch the ball, and his name is not Jalen Reagor. Chris R says, hell yeah on Mechie and Jameson Williams. So this is what I'm fucking talking about, right? This is why the Eagles should sign Sammy Watkins. They should sign Sammy Watkins. Or some other guy. Because here's the thing. If they sign Sammy Watkins or Alan Lazard, I think Alan Lazard is still, or Zach Pascal, those guys can fucking catch the ball. They can definitely do more than fucking Jalen Reagor. And Quez Watkins is going to continue to get better. We know that. We know that about Quez Watkins. He's going to continue to get better. Quez Watkins is going to continue to be a good wide receiver. But we bring in that veteran like Zach Pascal or Sammy Watkins while Jameson Williams or John Mechie gets healthy, and then once they're healthy, the offense fucking takes off. The offense takes off. Chris R says, if Jameson Williams slides to the second, you got to take him. But if Mechie is there in the third, I'm going to be pissed. LOL. I love Garrett Wilson. If Garrett Wilson is there at 15 or 16, I swear to God, if the Philadelphia Eagles do not take Garrett Wilson, I'm going to throw my computer. And then you guys will not hear from me for a week because I will be focusing on searching for a new laptop. That's exactly what will happen. Chris Olave or Garrett Wilson. Same fucking thing. And I'm gonna stream the fucking draft live like I did last year. You know, hopefully with Patrick J. Hopefully I can get Patrick J again. Patrick J and I, we work for the same company. He works all the time though because he's a badass. He works overtime. You know what I'm saying? But that's the thing, is like I would rather have one of those wide receivers that are injured, and don't hate on me for this, but I would rather have one of those wide receivers that are injured and wait until they get healthy than take Justin Ross and not take another receiver after Justin Ross. Chris R says, fun fact about Sammy Watkins. I remember watching the draft where Buffalo traded 3 picks to move up 5 spots to get him. 2 firsts and a 4th. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Sammy Watkins was a fucking beast to start his career. Sammy Watkins was a beast to start his career. And he was worth it. He was definitely worth it. You know, just think about it. I mean, like, look, if Josh Allen was there during that time, the Bills would be on a different level. The Bills would be on a different level. I don't remember who their quarterback was at that time, but I'll let you guys think about that. We're going to take a quick break. This is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. We will be back more in a few moments. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break. I will be right back with you. DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. One love, guys. Please stay tuned. All right, guys, what's up? What's up? I am back. This is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. Birdman, welcome to the chat today, my man. If you're still here, what's up? Happy Friday, my dude. Let me see here. Chris R says, I'm hoping we can fleece someone like that in the draft. LOL. Oh, let me see here. Let me get back to these comments. Hey, Birdman, if you want to join in, I'd be more than happy to have you join in again. Chris R says, fun fact about Sammy Watkins. I remember watching the draft where Buffalo traded. Yeah, we got to that. I think we're gonna. Here's the thing. If the Eagles don't trade one of their first round draft picks, and I said this earlier in the stream, then it increases the chances that they have faith in Jalen Hurts, and so that's going to be an interesting thing to watch. You know what I mean? It's definitely going to be an interesting thing to watch. Most definitely. But yeah, so you know, before I left, so we were talking about the draft picks. We're talking about, you know, John Mechie, you know, the third wide receiver out of Alabama. If the Eagles, if he falls to third round, the Eagles should take him. If Jameson Williams falls to second round, I think the Eagles should take him. But you know, let me know what your guys' thoughts are on that, and you know, and if you think that's a good possibility. There's so many different things that could happen, and I want to talk. Obviously, we have ideas about, you know, a certain amount of players the Eagles should take in the first round, right? You know, whether it be, and let's go through the 3-player scenarios, right? It could be Devin Lloyd, Kyer Elam, Chris Olave. It could be Devontae Wyatt, N'Kobe Dean, Garrett Wilson. It could be, you know, any one of these. But let's talk about the second round pick. So, you know, obviously we're talking about the second round pick, and you know, I was talking about how, you know, if the Philadelphia Eagles decided to take a shot on a first rounder who got injured, and they lasted to the second round to the Philadelphia Eagles, and we came up to Jameson Williams. But you know, let's talk about some of the options for that second round pick. You know, and we can do a mock draft later in this stream if you guys want. Most definitely. But here's the thing: is we have to address the safety position. Philadelphia Eagles have to address the safety position. Did they just resign Anthony Harris? Yeah, they did. But Rodney McLeod is still not signed yet, and so we got to talk about that. Me personally, if the Eagles were to go safety in the second round, and I would hope this guy is there in the third round, but I would take him as high as the second round. Kirby Joseph, safety Kirby Joseph. He has a 6'8" wingspan. He's a ball hawk, phenomenal player. I would take him. I think he could be a day one starter at safety for us. Kayvon Wallace is not it. So, I mean, tell me your thoughts. What are your guys' potential targets for the second round draft pick? Birdman. Chris R says, I'm actually hoping we trade the 15 pick to the Jets or Lions. Both have 2 picks in the 30s that give us 4 to 5 picks in the first 2 rounds. We can grab an edge, linebacker, corner, safety. You know, it's interesting that you say that. I was actually talking to my brother earlier today about just that. And the Lions, and we were talking about the Lions. The Lions have a 32nd pick, obviously. I don't know. I don't know the trade, the trade value chart off the top of my head. But if the Eagles were to trade 15 to the Lions for 32, would they still be able to acquire a first rounder next year? That's my question. That is my question. Does anybody have the trade chart value off the top of their head? Anybody have the trade value off the top of their head? Trade chart value. Chris R says Lions have 32. Jets have 32 and 35. Jets have 34 and 38. Interesting. Well, here's the thing. Though, is would you rather have, okay, so the Jets, okay, so let's start with the Lions. So the Lions have 32, which is still a first rounder, obviously. Would you rather have that 32 and 35? Or would you rather trade your 15 for 35 and a first rounder next year? Let me ask you that. Because I don't know if we trade our 15 to the Lions for 32, like I don't think that's going to get us a first rounder for next year. I think the only thing is if the Eagles trade back, with one of their first round draft picks, I want them to be able to acquire our first round draft pick next year. And why? Because CJ Stroud is going to be in the draft class next year. That's why. That is why. Chris R says, on one mock, I was able to trade the 15th pick and a 4th to the Jets for those picks. 34 and 38. What grade did you get? And what platform were you using? Chris R says, "Oh yeah, I would definitely trade the 15th for the first next year." Well, yeah, that's a no-brainer. I mean, here's the thing: is what would we get? What would we get this year? Is my thing. What would we get this year? Chris, what happened to Birdman? Chris says, I can't remember which website it was, but it was an even trade. All right. Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad trade. It's not a bad trade. I just, was curious. I was just curious. So let me ask. So let's ask this. Yeah. So let's ask this. What do you think the Philadelphia Eagles are going to do at wide receiver? Realistically, what do you think they're going to do at wide receiver? I think that I personally believe that they have high hopes in Quez Watkins, but I really believe that Howie Roseman is down on Jalen Reagor. Howie Roseman wouldn't come out and say what he said about Jalen Reagor if he wasn't down on him. Like, I don't even think that we haven't heard him come out and trash talk, JJ Arcega-Whiteside the way that he did Jalen Reagor. He pretty much said, we expected more. We expected more. You don't come out and say that publicly, if you're not disappointed, right? And Howie Roseman and the Philadelphia Eagles, they usually keep things pretty quiet. They usually keep things pretty quiet. That's all I'm saying. Christoph says, I'd like to get Mechie in the third. I agree. I would too. Here's one of the perfect draft scenarios for me is I would say this. And this is one of which and that's if here I'll give you a few actually, because this is it's got some nuances. One is obviously Devontae Wyatt, Devin Lloyd, Kyer Elam, second round Jamison Williams, third round Kirby Joseph. Another scenario is let's say Devontae Wyatt, Devontae Wyatt, Jermaine Johnson, and Chris Olave, and second round Christian Harris. And third round is again a cornerback, like I don't know, a cornerback or a safety. Another one is let's say we do Devontae, linebacker, cornerback, and then safety, then a safety in the second round, and then in the third round we get Mechie. Makes sense to me. There's a lot of different scenarios that we could go in that I would be happy with. That's my point. That is my point. But here's the thing. Are you willing to give Jalen Hurts next year? Because it all comes down to that, right? It all comes down to that. How much does Jalen Hurts progress from year 1 to year 2 as the starter? How much does Jalen Hurts progress from year 1 to year 2 as the starter? It's a big thing. We're gonna try and get some peeps on here, some Philadelphia Eagles fans on here to kind of talk about this with us. I'm trying to do that right now. But just continue to stay tuned. Let's continue this conversation. Guys, year 2. Let's talk about this. Something that's not being talked about a lot is running back Kenny Gainwell. What are we expecting out of Kenny Gainwell in year 2? And me personally, I love Kenny Gainwell coming out of college. Was so fucking happy that we drafted him. And yeah, I mean, come on, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Are they going to move Miles Sanders for more draft picks? Is the question. And is it a smart idea to do that? You know what I'm saying? So Chris R says, ideally for me, we would trade the 15 to the Jet. Okay, you already brought that up. Chris R says, to be honest, I think Hurts is who he is. We'll have the next year to prove he's a better quarterback. But let's be honest, if there was a better quarterback available in the draft, they would take him. So what are your thoughts? That's a phenomenal point. What are your thoughts on Howie Roseman showing interest in Malik Willis? What are your thoughts on that? Hillary Cummings, welcome to the chat. Happy Friday. I hope you're doing okay. I love you. By the way, Hillary is my mom, everybody, so say hello. One of the best human beings I know. She is my mom. So there's that. Do you guys believe that Jalen Hurts will take the next step in his development? Look, Josh Allen went from a 56% completion percentage in his rookie year to being a phenomenal freak show of a player. Look, here's the thing. Here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say about this. Here's what I'll say about this to anybody who wants to say that Jalen Hurts could possibly take that next step like Josh Allen did. For me, during his rookie year, Josh Allen passed the eye test for me. He passed the eye test for me. It didn't matter whether he had a 57% completion percentage. He passed the eye test. Jalen Hurts didn't pass the eye test for me. So could he do it in year 2? I don't. As the starter, maybe he could. I don't know. Hillary Cummings says, love you. I love you too, Mom. Thank you. Could Jalen Hurts? I mean, obviously, we'll see. The hope is that he will. You know what I mean? Obviously, on the cheap, it would be the best thing for the Philadelphia Eagles if Jalen Hurts, miraculously took the next step. Because he's still on that rookie deal. I mean, it would be absolutely phenomenal. It would be absolutely phenomenal. But we'll see. Like I said earlier in the stream, do they trade one of their first round picks for a first round pick next year as a precautionary measure in case Jalen Hurts doesn't progress like they want to? Because if they do that, then, well, that's business as usual. We're kind of expecting that anyway. But if they don't, then it means that they're putting all of their marbles into Jalen Hurts. They're showing faith. They're showing at least 10% more faith in Jalen Hurts than they already have. And that would probably bring it up to about 50 to 60%, honestly, which is pretty good, honestly. Chris R says, I think either Matt Corral, Sam Howell, or Malik Willis could run this run-heavy RPO offense. I know Bills fans, they had full confidence that Allen had the arm talent. I had confidence that Josh Allen had the arm talent after his rookie season. I did, and I even you can go back to my previous streams. I even said people were so down on Josh Allen after his rookie season. I was like, this dude passed the eye test. This dude shows me something that I am excited about. And I like Sam Howell, and I like Matt Corral. I know a lot of people are high on Malik Willis because he had a phenomenal Senior Bowl, he had a phenomenal combine. He's an electric quarterback. But I do not like the season that he had. And I worry about it. And I worry about it in the sense of, is he better than Jalen Hurts right now? See, I want to if we're going to draft the rookie quarterback, I want a guy who's got better passing mechanics than Jalen Hurts. And I know that Sam Howell and Matt Corral have better passing mechanics than Jalen Hurts. Malik Willis, I'm not so sure about. Does he have a fucking rocket for an arm? Yes. No doubt. Does he have a better rocket for an arm than Jalen Hurts? No doubt. But are the passing mechanics better? That is the question. Chris R says, if you looked at the Colts last year, you'll see that Carson Wentz had little to do with their success. It was pretty much carried by Jonathan Taylor. When he was successful, they won. If he wasn't, they lost. My opinions on Carson Wentz are so up in the air. I gotta be completely honest with you. My opinions on Carson Wentz are so up in the air. I saw highlights of Carson Wentz last year, and I was enamored. It reminded me of 2017. Do I think Carson Wentz is the same quarterback? No, of course I don't. I think Carson Wentz is broken still. But I do believe that Carson Wentz is going to make the Washington Commanders a better team. And right now, this might not be an opinion that's agreed upon. But right now, the Commanders are better than the Philadelphia Eagles. On paper. Commanders are better than the Philadelphia Eagles on paper. Chris R says you can make the case it's the same here. Hurts as a passer had little to do with the success of the team. It was the run game. So I do feel like a guy like Corral, Howell, or Pickett improves the team. Agreed. First and foremost, let me say this. I like all three of those quarterbacks. I think that this quarterback draft class has been severely underrated. And I think that they're honestly getting a bad rap. Are they as good as other quarterback draft classes? No, of course they're not. Of course they're not. There's not a Trevor Lawrence amongst the bunch. You know what I mean? There's not an Andrew Luck amongst the bunch. But here's the thing. If Kenny Pickett or Matt Corral can become a Kirk Cousins, what are we talking about? That is success. That is success. Hillary Cummings says Carson did not win us the Super Bowl. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Nick Foles did. Chris R says they can all run. They can all run the RPO, and they're all more accurate than Hurts. Exactly. Exactly. Which is what I've been saying since fucking... which is what I've been saying since November. I've been saying that since November, Chris. I've been saying this. This is exactly what I've been saying. I said, look, this quarterback draft class might not be as good as you guys want it to be, but these guys have plenty of time to improve their draft stock between now and April, and they all have better passing mechanics than Jalen Hurts. You can't argue with that. You can't argue with that. It's just facts. It's just facts. I don't want to sound like a Hurts hater, but if you're relying on the run to avoid him throwing the ball, then you know he's not the long-term answer. So that's one way to look at it. Here's the thing. I don't know if Nick Sirianni relied on the run to avoid Jalen throwing the ball. I don't know if that is the case. I think Nick Sirianni realized that he had a phenomenal offensive line and they had great running backs. And running the ball was going to be best. But I will say this is you're right. You know, if your quarterback isn't developed enough to at least run, you know, simple concepts and, you know, read a defense simplistically to counter said run game, yeah, you definitely have something to worry about. Look, Chris, it doesn't need to be Matt Corral. It doesn't need to be Malik Willis. Kenny Pickett can come into this offense and run a better passing game. That's my belief. That's what I believe. Kenny Pickett can come into this offense, run a better passing game. But they will still need to have that strong running game to balance the pass game during his first couple years in the league. And that's what I think the Philadelphia Eagles fans are forgetting when it comes to evaluating this rookie quarterback class. It's like, yeah, but this dude has better passing mechanics. We're still going to have to run the ball to help him develop. He'll develop. He's going to develop. We still have that strong running game. Don't forget that. He doesn't need to be Patrick Mahomes. He doesn't need to be Patrick Mahomes. He can be Josh Allen his rookie year. That's fine. But, like, you know, come on. You know what I'm saying? I really think that the Philadelphia Eagles are going to consider a first-round quarterback. Don't put it past Howie Roseman, honestly. Seriously. Anyway, we're approaching an hour and 33 minutes, and this is DB Talking Now. This is DB Talking Birds. This is DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles, the DB Talking Now podcast. I do appreciate all of you for joining in. Let's get to this last comment before we close out for the evening. Chris says, those guys can also throw hella deep too. I'd like to see some bombs to Smith and Watson. Agreed. And me personally is if we had a more passing, a more mechanically sound passing quarterback. Last year, Devontae Smith would have had over 1,300 yards as a rookie wide receiver. He would have been right up there with Jerry Jeudy. So, it's annoying, but anyway, I'll be back on with you guys tomorrow. One love, DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. Stay safe, stay healthy. One love, go Birds, baby.